Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Tasmania's Liberals have defied the slide, managing to gain ground in Bass, Braddon and in Lyons. While Braddon is now locked away for the Liberals, they're holding on in Bass, while Lyons is going down to the wire.
The great Bass boil-over. Bridget Archer left to say, to what she hopes will be 3 more years in Bass.
Overwhelmed, really. I feel overwhelmed.
Looking set to survive the election's ejector seat, the last Liberal to hold on to Bass was Warwick Smith in 1990.
I'm not going to blow smoke. I'm not going to tell you what Canberra wants you to hear.
No one heard from Ross Hart until very late in the night. He didn't appear at Labor's Bass HQ until sorrows were well and truly drowned, and still hasn't formally conceded defeat despite trailing by around 1,000 votes. But Canberra is guaranteed to have at least one Tasmanian Liberal in its ear. Gavin Pearce also bucked the national trend, becoming the first Liberal to retain Braddon since Chris Miles in the 90s. A crushed Chris Lynch took solace in the bigger picture.
As disappointed as I might be to not get the seat, if we change the government nationally, then I've won.
A change of government which the state Liberals are vowing to work alongside. Jeremy Rockcliffe says he'll write to Anthony Albanese to single out health for more Commonwealth funding in Tasmania. As for the party's pariah, Scott Morrison,
Fires and floods and pandemics, it's been such a challenging few years. The way that Mr Morrison's responded to some of those issues has obviously not endeared him to the community.
Yet Tasmania remains a loyal legion, leaving Labor in the lurch. Susie Bauer's 4.5% swing is giving Labor's Brian Mitchell a real run in the disputed seat of Lyons.
Politics last night was turned on its head, but the most important thing, the best feeling I've got is that we have a Labor government.
Forcing the Liberals to take stock.
And we have to accept that our party didn't head in the right direction the way we wanted to.
And look to the Senate, where the long-serving Eric Abetz will likely lose his seat after being elbowed from first to third on the ticket for John O'Duniam.
I stood alongside Eric at many an event and we worked together.
And they'll need to work a little harder.
She's a bit of a control freak.
As the Jackie Lambie network braces for double trouble.
God help us, what can we do with the power of 2?
Counting suggests Tammy Tyrrell will mop up Tasmania's final Senate spot.
To get 2 voices in the Senate, to be heard even louder and prouder, why wouldn't you want to do it?
Unsurprisingly, Andrew Wilkie stays in Clark, likewise Julie Collins in Franklin, who could be in line for a portfolio. But the much-hyped Local Party and United Australia Party flopped, failing to make a dent following an election returning familiar faces to an unfamiliar environment. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's health bodies are the loudest of those welcoming the result after Labor pledged to invest heavily in our fractured aged care and hospital system. They're just one of the industries preparing to work with the new government as they take office.
Like a majority of the nation, Tasmania's health unions are embracing the change in the political landscape.
We've welcomed the opportunity to work with the government who've actually taken the time to listen to our members and those challenges and are keen to work with us in addressing them.
Going forward, the state's ageing population stands to benefit.
The significant aged care commitments around legislated ratios, transparency of funding and better wages and conditions certainly will be a great benefit.
It's a relief that we now have a government that is committed to significantly reforming staffing across the aged care sector, something that we've been calling for.
Almost $1 billion in Medicare and primary health funding is coming our way.
We'll be walking along with Labor every step of the way, urging them to deliver on their commitments. That's why they've won government.
The construction sector is backing in Labor's housing policies.
That will bring more housing onto the market, and importantly, it'll bring housing onto the market for those most in need.
But with challenges that may lie ahead.
We have material price increases, we have increases in regards to wages and delays in projects.
Tasmania's Tourism Industry Council has welcomed Labor's victory. Chief Executive Luke Martin says the new Prime Minister has a record of investing in the state's visitor infrastructure and he looks forward to working with the federal government. Economists are also high on the incoming team.
Just because one party did better on something 20 or 30 years ago is no guarantee that they will do either better or worse in the next 3 years.
As they inherit an economy with rising inflation and interest rates, the real work has only just begun.
If Labor wants to be a long-term government that leaves a substantial legacy, as for example the Hawke-Keating government did, then it needs to honour the promises it made during this election campaign.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
Taking a quick look at the day's other news, and another Tasmanian has died with COVID, the 70th since the pandemic began. The man in his 90s was in the south of the state. Under 800 new cases were recorded yesterday, with active cases now just over 6,000. 27 people are in hospital with the virus. 25 of them are being treated for it, with one person in the ICU. A female driver is in a serious condition after a crash in the northwest. The 63-year-old was the sole occupant of her four-wheel drive ute, which crashed on Forth Road at dawn. She was taken to the Northwest Regional Hospital in a serious condition. Taking it to a racetrack in a car costing around $1,000 might seem risky, but that was the aim of the game at Baskerville Raceway this weekend. The circuit's annual 1000 event wrapped up today, with the event not only challenging drivers but also bringing families together.
From a distance, this looks and sounds like a proper race car. But things are different at the Baskerville 1000. Day 2 of racing tested drivers' patience and skill behind the wheel.
It's timing all the way, strategising, getting the fuel stops, which you have to do a minimum of 2.
All of the motorsport disciplines are wrapped up into this one event, and the people who like to be competitive embrace it.
Cars must have been bought for $1,000 or less before modification, with drivers changing every 45 minutes. And instead of rewarding speed, consistency is the path to victory. Teams nominate a lap time and must finish within no more than a second of that figure to score points.
I would rather be trying to do the fastest lap time every time. Trying to keep the car within that 1 second either side is much harder.
Roger's team is a family affair. The whole Hurd clan is involved, from driving the car through to keeping their eyes on the times.
Here he comes.
Meanwhile, 80-year-old Roger Tomlin isn't letting age slow him down. Taking up the sport just 12 months ago, he says the change of pace is enjoyable.
When you get to an age like that, it's nice to find something to look forward to.
Those involved say the unique style of the event allows them to enjoy the thrill of racing, while also having a fun day out with the family.
We love it, mate. We do it for fun. Doing okay at the moment.
Everybody's enjoying themselves. I mean, everybody wants to win, but it's just so nice.
You walk up and down the pit lane and you'll see a smile on everybody's face.
Bruce also has reason to smile, finishing first in yesterday's race.
There were 3 of us were neck and neck for the entire 6 hours, which made for quite a bit of excitement for everyone involved.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
This television station is making history this week, marking 60 years since transmission into Tasmanian homes began. Over the coming nights, we'll be bringing you the story of what began as TNT9, from the pioneering days of black and white on film to the digital leaps of today. Our series begins with when pictures first popped up on our screens and the huge investment it needed.
This collection of film, tapes and digital files is likely the most extensive visual record of Tasmania's past. The moments which shocked us, inspired us, all captured and preserved for posterity. And this enormous archive began with a simple test transmission.
This is the Oracle camera test on 12. At the present moment we're experimenting with this very highly expensive unit.
These were groundbreaking days. A new studio in South Launceston had to be built from scratch. Mount Barrow became the nexus for transmission across the north and northwest. And giant pieces of equipment were shipped in from around the globe. Tasmanians took to the new technology with gusto, causing shortages of TV sets leading up to opening night. Antennas also went out of stock. For those lucky enough to see a screen, the breakthrough moment came with a 6 p.m. transmission.
This is Northern Television, TNT Channel 9.
Good evening. This is TNT 9 where the viewing's fine.
The moment was witnessed inside the nearly 3,000 homes which had television licences, along with the advertisements. This, for the Hydroelectric Commission, aired in TNT 9's first year.
At the flick of a switch, electricity is a healthy, clean warmth. No fumes, no flames, no preparation, no cleaning up afterwards. Go electric this winter.
Early on, growing pains were felt in the hip pocket. Advertising rates were around 10 times that of radio. But after initial reluctance, businesses warmed to the new medium.
For faster travel, finer service, fly TAA, the friendly way.
In the early days, commercials had to be individually spliced into the program and then removed for reuse after.
Afraid of no one except the man with the can of Mortine.
Fabulous Fab is stronger than dirt.
Fab, the modern power detergent, is stronger than dirt.
The real life one puts extra fun in you and everything you do, so things go better with Coca-Cola. Things go better with Coke.
And when the station's first birthday rolled around, a 3-hour live variety show named Take the Cake was the celebration of the day.
And that's just what it is, a TV party.
With a few gags for good measure.
If at times the picture becomes just a trifle confused, you think you're getting double vision, don't worry about that either. Don't send for the TV repairman, just bear with us because this is quite a big undertaking. As we said, it's a party, so join us and see who takes the cake.
A jolly good show starting 6 decades of entertainment. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
And our special series continues tomorrow night, where we'll take a look at the big changes in technology over the past 60 years, from the dawn of colour TV to the switch from analogue to digital. Peppy poochers have had the time of their lives, joining a cavalcade of canines for the Million Paws Walk. The event helps fundraise for the RSPCA's core causes, such as preventing animal cruelty and organising vet work.
It's so good to see so many animals, so many dogs here, families with their kids and their little pups and their big dogs, little dogs, everything's here, so it's wonderful.
Another walk is being held at Hobart's Queen's Domain next Sunday.
North Launceston has blitzed Lauderdale in the second half of today's curtain raiser at UTAS Stadium. Brisbane Lions players, including former Lauderdale star Mitch Robinson, watched on as the two sides contested a tight first half. But the floodgates opened in the second, North Launceston piling on 10 goals to 2, including one from defender Fletcher Bennett.
Coughs it up to Bennett. Fletcher Bennett for goal. Oh, huge will this be? It is there!
The Northern Bombers winning 13-13-91 to Lauderdale 7-11-53. Jack Jumpers showman Josh Adams has taken home the club's top gong in a thrilling vote count. He was awarded the first MVP title at the club's end-of-season gala last night. The star import enjoyed a number of spectacular performances throughout the season, but it was his NBL finals shooting which helped him secure the side's highest individual honour, finishing with 172 votes.
I'm just ecstatic to win this award. I know that there's a lot of guys out there, every single one of them down the line that could have won this award, and I would not be up here if it wasn't for each and every one of you guys.
Jack McVeigh was crowned runner-up with 167 votes, followed closely by Josh Majette on 160, as voted by Tasmania's 4 coaches. Meanwhile, the two Northern NBL 1 teams scored wins last night. North West Tasmania was too strong for Ringwood, winning 80-72 in Ulverston. A 21-12 third quarter, helping the Thunder secure the win. Meanwhile, Launceston recorded a famous victory over Ringwood. Down by 14 points at half-time, the Tornadoes spun into action in the second half. Kelsey Griffin leading the way in defence and also scoring a game-high 28 points.
Oh, she made her way through but missed the bucket. Rebounded by Griffin. Makes 2.
The Tornadoes eventually winning 90-82. To soccer now, and Launceston's Nathaniel Atkinson's first season at Hearts has finished on a low, with the Edinburgh side going down to Rangers in the Scottish Cup final overnight. Scoreless after 90 minutes, Rangers converted 2 goals in extra time to lift the trophy aloft. It's their first victory in the competition since 2009. And Nathan Earl has won the Tour of Japan. Hobart's Team Ukyo rider crossed the line of the 4th and final stage in Tokyo with an 8-second buffer.
And to win the Tour, it's a dream come true, so very happy.
Fellow Aussie Ben Dybel came second. And that wraps up a huge weekend in sport, Louise.
Certainly does. Thank you for that, Tom.
Good evening. 14 across Launceston, Burnie and Devonport today, Hobart 11. 16 was the state's top at Flinders Island, Strahan 13, 14 about Smithton and Lowhead and 11 in Bushy Park. On the close-up, cloudy conditions about the south and north of Tasmania, clear skies elsewhere. Further out, middle level cloud is seen across parts of WA and South Australia, while the tropical north is mostly cloud-free. Tomorrow, a slow moving high remains near Tasmania while a low pressure system moves over WA. Southwesterly winds tomorrow reaching 10 knots about the southeast and north, swells up to 2.5 metres in the west and south and below 1 metre in the north. A frost warning is current for the central, north, Midlands and upper Derwent Valley forecast districts. Tomorrow's forecast now: Hobart mostly sunny and 15, partly cloudy in Dover, Ooze 14. In the north, sunny in Launceston, Devonport, mostly sunny 14 in Scottsdale. Burnie and Strahan tomorrow, partly cloudy and 14, 16 in Stanley. St Helens, mostly sunny, 16 in Swansea, and a morning frost then continuing through to a sunny day in Ross. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast now: Tuesday, fine apart from possible early fog and frost. Wednesday, possible showers developing about the north during the afternoon. And Thursday, showers about the north extending statewide during the afternoon. Capital cities 19 and showers in Perth tomorrow. Sunny in Adelaide and 29 in Cairns. And currently Hobart mostly cloudy and clear across Launceston and Devonport. Lou.
Lovely, thanks Jackie. And that's all your news for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Have a lovely evening. Good night.